Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Rizu here, and today I'm going to be talking about console FOV on Warzone and why I think it won't come for the next couple of years. So, let's begin. Actually, before we start the video, I just want to say thank you guys so much for almost 1,000 subscribers. You guys are crazy. Too crazy, alright? You guys are way too crazy, and thank you guys so much, and I will be doing my best as much as I can. It's just that I've been busy with a lot of stuff, like I said, and not only that, I've had an allergic reaction at work, and it just did blah blah blah. It was just horrible. It's horrible, okay? But anyways, let's continue on with the video. So, console FOV. This thing has been in topic for almost a year now. I think ever since Warzone came out, pretty much. And honestly, in my opinion, I definitely do support the idea that console FOV should come. Like, it should actually be in the game. But there are some catches about these things, so let's talk about them. So first things first, let's talk about the PS4 and Xbox One. Xbox One and PS4 won't be able to handle it, mainly because those consoles are pretty old. Like, obviously, yeah, they're pretty old, and they can handle Modern Warfare, surprisingly. Although in my PS4, so I actually tested this out with my brother's PS4 Slim and my regular PS4, the original one, and I gave them both a shot and see how they worked out. Now, surprisingly, the PS4 Slim actually has a better performance than the actual regular PS4. And how that works? Well, basically because the PS4 Slim is much more powerful than the regular PS4. It's just from my experience, okay? I'm not sure if it's going to be different from you guys, but for me, it was actually pretty different to actually play on the PS4 Slim than on the PS4 itself. And not only that, like, the same thing with the Xbox, and I'm not sure how the Xbox will actually handle it because I don't own an Xbox, but I'm pretty sure that the Xbox will actually have a lot more trouble, because I think if you guys don't remember, back then when Black Ops 3 came out, people were actually saying that the Xbox version of Black Ops 3 did have some, some lag issues. When I think I saw this in Merc Music's video where he was playing Black Ops 3, and then all of a sudden, his when someone talks in game chat or in death chat, they just lag the game. No one knows why. No one knew why, and apparently this is still going on in the Xbox. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe they patched it, but all I do know is that the Xbox couldn't even handle BO3 regularly, and it's kind of sad because these consoles have been around here for almost, I think, 7 years. I'm not sure how long. But holy crap, dude, these consoles are not going to be able to handle any console FOV, mainly because, like I said, it has the Modern Warfare engine actually is very difficult to handle. Now, you guys might be saying, oh, how does Cold War have it? Or how does Apex have it? Or how does other games have it? Well, let's talk about that for a minute. So, the reason why I think they have it, it's because those engines that they have had been around there for almost a while now, and not only that, they've been around there since maybe like the first ever game that actually been introduced. It's just been modified more and more. Same thing with Call of Duty. We actually had the engine, more modified more and more throughout the years. Like, for example, Cold War. It's pretty much a modified BO3 engine. It's not the BO4, not similar to BO4s, but they're still all these three games are actually still similar to their own engine, except that they've been modified more and more throughout the years. And same thing with Modern Warfare, the Modern Warfare series. The COD 4 engine was actually more modified later on throughout the years. Pretty much you could say that the World at War and COD 4 engines are pretty much similar, but they're still kind of different in their own ways. But still, it's just crazy to think that these engines have been around for almost such a long time, that they've been modified more to actually become better. And that's when the I forgot what it's called, engine came in. The engine of Modern Warfare, pretty much. That engine that has been worked on for almost 3 years. 3 years. And if that doesn't ring a bell to you, that this engine is still brand new, then I don't know what's wrong. I really don't know. Because the thing is here is, like, I think even Charlie Intel said that, at least when Modern Warfare, like, was, what's it called? When it was already showcased. Charlie Intel did explain that this engine has been worked on for almost 3 years. I think ever since when they started Infinite Warfare. And now I think about it, Infinite Warfare is pretty much like the beta of the engine that they were working on. And I'm pretty sure they were trying to improve it more and more. But then again, I'm not sure, because it could be just a modified version of COD 4's engine. But it did say that the engine that they were working on has been worked for 3 years. And that's when Modern Warfare came out and it introduced the new engine that we all know and love, pretty much. And to this day, I still think that that engine is still taking some time to actually, you know, get settled in and see what else it can do with the engine itself. And in my eyes, I think they already tried testing FOV Slider onto PS4 and Xbox One, and I'm pretty sure that it did have stability issues, which is why I don't think they're adding it in. Mainly because it will cause a lot of stability issues, especially since the PS4 and Xbox One are actually pretty old consoles. And not only that, they do have some difficult times to actually, you know, play the game, and you know, it runs 30 FPS and all that stuff. Sometimes it will run 60 FPS, but most of the time it will actually run 30 FPS. And imagine if an FOV slider actually comes into Modern Warfare / Warzone, it will actually cause a lot of problems for people because it will actually drop some frames, surprisingly, because, well, like I said, PS4 and Xbox One were pretty much powerful back in the old days, but now you're just seeing like a little babies, kind of like the PS3 and Xbox 360. But still, I definitely do think that the console FOV on PS4 and Xbox One will not be possible, but the only possible way that it will ever come to PS4 and Xbox One is if they come out with their other versions, like for example, maybe a PS4 Pro or an Xbox One S or X, whatever they're called. The reason why I'm saying that it's because it's nearly as powerful as a PS5 and an Xbox Series X. Although, even though the Xbox Series X is much more powerful than all those consoles, it's still a huge possibility that they could actually come to PS4 Pro and the Xbox One S. Mainly because, like I said, they're much more powerful than their original counterparts. And obviously, PS5 and Xbox Series X should actually get an FOV slider. Personally, for me, I do hope that they actually get a next gen upgrade for Warzone. That way, they can get an FOV slider, maybe get higher frames, higher refresh rate. Because right now, the PS5 can actually handle to 120 refresh rates, which is actually pretty good. And not only that, it runs at 120 FPS, which is, once again, really good. The only thing that's missing is an FOV slider, but for now, they're not going to make that next gen update, mainly because there's still a lot of people that have a PS4 and an Xbox One. And not only that, not a lot of people actually have a PS5 or a Xbox Series X, so they're probably waiting for, you know, to actually release more consoles and more PS5, pretty much more PS5 than more Xbox Series X. That way they can actually push that next gen upgrade, and that way us console players can actually get an FOV slider. Now, I did not mean to say I'm not part of the console players anymore. I actually switched to PC, like you guys see right here. I've been switched to PC for almost a while now, and don't get me wrong, it's an amazing experience, and I definitely do recommend getting a PC. But then at the same time, it is kind of spendy. But just remember that these PCs can actually handle for almost like 7 years maybe. It can actually handle that much. So that's why I'm recommending people to actually get a PC. But then again, if they want to stick to console, I'll you know, let them be. If they want to stick to console, let them stick to console. But the thing is here is that if you're waiting for that FOV slider, you're gonna have to wait for like maybe a couple of years, mainly because, like I said, this engine is still pretty brand new, and unlike the other engines that we just talked about, those are just the same engines that's been used for almost over 10 or 5 years, depending on how long the games were there. What else do I want to say? There's a lot of stuff. I wanted to say more stuff, but I'm not sure which one it was. Oh man, there's a lot of stuff I want to say. Oh yeah, the graphics settings. So not only that, like the graphics would, like I said, it will cause a lot of graphics problems, of course. Like it will just be kind of blurry, just like what you see in this gameplay right here. Like that computer, you see that computer right there? Like it actually is kind of blurry. My PC is not the greatest, but I still play it just because it actually does feel much more responsive than what a console will actually feel like. Now I do have a PS5, but I don't play it because, well, I have a PC. Like, what's the point for me playing a PS5? But yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. Console FOV will actually take some time to actually come in. Just give Raven and Infinity Ward some time to actually get this FOV slider come in. Just give them time until this IEW engine actually comes in handy, and it will actually work out perfectly fine. For that way, everyone in the console community can actually get an FOV slider. Because like I said, I am a huge supporter of the FOV console slider. I already seen so many clips of people saying like, "Hey, we want a FOV slider on console, can you please just give it to us?" Like, I understand your pain. It does feel, it is painful as for someone, for me, that's been playing console for almost 10, actually no, longer than that, almost 17 or 19 years. And trust me, I feel that pain for you guys. I really do feel that pain. and I hope that you guys can actually get an FOV Sliders to Raven Software or Infinity Ward. If you guys can do me a favor and give them an FOV Slider, they desperately need it. But like I said, it will take some time until eventually you guys get that FOV Slider. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any new videos. But yeah, it's been your boy Rizu, and I'll see you guys later with another video. Adios.